In response to Rama's question about why a dead body does not experience sense perception, even though it still obviously has sense organs, Vasishta has been telling us two things. One is about the nature of consciousness and its inherent tendency to identify with whatever arises within it, whether that's objects or notions or people or whatever. And he's also been telling us this doctrine of the individual, which categorizes us into 8 parts: 5 senses, the lower mind, which deals with these senses, the upper mind, which is described as the intelligence, and then there's the ego sense, the sense of being an individual. I shall now tell you how it perceives the objects. I said that on account of the notion of I am, consciousness abides as jiva in the body. So we have this notion of I am. When I say we've got a notion, it's not just a casual thought, it's something which we relate to. It's something which allows us to organise everything which happens. We organise all of experiencing into notions, and one of these notions is I am, or the notion of being an individual, a jiva. And we've also got the notion of a body. This jiva abides in the body. When its senses descend upon similar bodies outside itself, there is contact between the two, and there is a desire to know, to become one with them. And again, this is just the fundamental tendency of consciousness, to identify with whatever notions experiencing has been organized into. So consciousness wants to engage, wants to identify. This is how we are. This is why we get caught up in stories. We can watch a drama. It might be completely far-fetched, but we can't get caught up in it. We get emotionally involved with it. We identify with aspects of it. It doesn't matter whether it's a fairy tale when we're a kid, or a science fiction tale when we're an adult, or a romance movie which has various supernatural elements in it. We love our stories, we create stories, and we get involved with stories. This is the nature of consciousness. So things arise within experiencing. We filter these things according to our notions of what's nice and what's not nice, what's desirable, what's not desirable. And this here is called contact. When the notion of an individual self comes into contact with something regarded as worth noticing. Noticing means worth making a notion of and relating to that notion. When there is this contact, the object is reflected within oneself. It's been identified. And it's identified within our experience. And the jiva perceives this reflection, though it believes that the reflection is outside. All sensory experience is happening here, but we project it into the world outside. We say, if I see something, I don't say I see it here. I say I see it over there, out there. Although it's not being seen out there, it's being seen here. But we ignore that reflection in our own consciousness and say that this is not here at all, it's actually out there. We give it distance, remoteness, we give it remoteness. The jiva knows only this reflection. All you know is what you're experiencing right here, right now. The jiva knows only this reflection, which means it knows itself. It's all an aspect of consciousness. Jiva is consciousness, and whatever the jiva experiences is consciousness. This contact is the cause of the perception of external objects. So once you've got this contact, once the attention identifies with a notion that arises within it, this gives rise to the notion of the perception of external objects. Hence it is possible only in the case of the ignorant one whose mind is deluded, and not in the case of the liberated sage. The sage doesn't buy into notions of perception of external objects. The sage knows that the whole universe is happening right here, right now. Of course, since the jiva, which is but a notion, and all the rest of it are inert and insentient, the reflection thus seen and experienced is in fact an optical illusion or intellectual perversion. So perversion means turning around. It means turning away from the way things really are. And it means buying into an optical illusion. The notion of a jiva, the notion of a world out there, it's all happening right here, right now, and it's nothing to do with me as an individual personality. Consciousness and the stream of infinite creation is happening right here, right now. The self is all in all the time.